Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. Alright, Astroneer. Just doing a little bit of driving around looking for quartz. And it appears we have some. So, basically what I'm doing here is setting up for some co-op gameplay. For those who are interested, the game is available on Steam. I'm sure it's available on some of those other platforms, but as you guys know, I don't care about those other platforms. Alright, so the main goal of Astroneer really isn't one. The main storyline of it really isn't one. You're on a planet. You can fly to other planets, harvest resources, build bases. What else do you need? I mean, really. I mean, it's nice for a game to have a storyline and, you know, this is why you're here, this is why you're doing this, or what have you. But honestly, do you really care? I mean, for the most part, people end up playing games and they like it for the playstyle or for base building or for whatever the main element of the game is. Be it general douchebaggery or what have you, you know? So, I mean, do you really need a storyline if you're enjoying the gameplay? Yeah, for me, not really. Oh, more down here. So, quartz is good for a lot of stuff. Of course, you can make it into glass, but very importantly for co-op, especially if you're playing with somebody who doesn't know anything about the game, doesn't know basics of navigation, and you know, really and truly, the planets aren't really laid out in a way that, oh, okay, I go over here, because they're procedurally generated. And I'm quite okay with that as well. Didn't bring my tractor down, because I wasn't expecting to get a lot. I mean, it's nice that I found this spot. I found one other spot, and was doing okay, but it dried up. Just about filled up here with what I can carry. I already have a use for the quartz once I get back. One of my pet peeves, though, is if you're gonna harvest out an area, at least, you know, try to clean up, especially on the surface. You know, not as tragic down here in the depth. But when you're on the surface, really, nothing is more annoying than trying to drive around and just suddenly running into a frickin' natural cave or where somebody has mined out the entire frickin' thing for whatever resource. Room for one more. There we go. And I am full. So, yeah, whenever I'm going through and I'm trying to drive across the terrain, I tend to try to make roads so it's a little easier to navigate, but it is quite handy to have beacons. Not bacon. Everybody loves bacon. Need some lighting on this thing too. Oh, that's quite handy. That's my ramp to get out of here. And as long as you're driving slow, this thing is not a big deal whenever you're underground. Tractor can get a little bit wishy-washy whenever you're trying to drive anywhere, much less underground. But you have to consider you have lower gravity, so you tend to go airborne a lot, especially whenever you're going faster. Haven't done a whole lot of base cleanup yet. Got a spare buggy built. Let's see. I need a couple glass. So I'll throw 3 on there for now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8. That's one whole thing, so I might as well do that. Running low on everything else. I need another... You can never have too many of these frickin' medium storages. Are you empty? Nope, you have one thing on you. So I'll go ahead and just fill you up then. The game was developed and still being developed in Unreal Engine 4. So that was one of the things that led me to looking at the game a little closer. And it uses terraforming, which is, you know, voxel worlds, which I find interesting. Oh, I'm printing. I can do a medium shuttle, but I need this thing. Chemistry lab. Need tungsten. Shit, I don't have tungsten. Different planet. Soul centrifuge. Not yet. So I'm gonna need tungsten and escape here. Planets. So tungsten. What gives me tungsten? Desolo. I think it's one of these two right here. I can't remember. So let's just go to there. That's our closest moon. We've got a small shuttle already, and want to build the medium and large, and that way I've got multiple methods of leaving the planet for resources. Now, I've got it set in creative for right now because, well, terraforming and doing a lot of stuff like that. I'm trying to get the standard base ready. So that whenever I do start taking in other players to come join me, then I'll be able to experiment, build, do fun things. I do plan on setting up an actual station here on this moon. Each of the main planets I will have a primary base with landing pad and full resource processing and everything else. But for sure want to have you're on an angle. That will bug me. I don't like not having this, the leveling ability right off the get-go. You can build the mod tool, but I'm base building. I want to get everything built up, ready for other people to join, so that it'll be a smoother transition for them to come in and learn the game. All right, the basics. Got compound here. Of course, you got freaking organic. That's just a rock. Yeah, let's fly up and see what we got. Some of the resources can be found directly on the surface. A lot more you actually have to dig in to find. And that over there, I get plenty of the basic resource there. But that's actually ammonium, which will come in handy later, but not what I'm here for. I need tungsten. Alright. Now there's also, since it's relatively small, in theory I could fly all the way around the planet in a relatively short amount of time. Not super fast, but we'll be able to fly around it. What I'll end up doing is setting up a network of roads, tunnels, whatever is necessary to get to and from the different landing sites. And there is also a nice little secret area out here on this rock somewhere. No idea where it is, never seen it. I've only seen pictures of it. Oh, what is that? More ammonium. Okay. And that is graphite. Get that on the main world. Well, the terraforming stuff, you know, of course, you know, Minecraft, 7 Days to Die were the main two that I played that allowed you to terraform. And it's like, well, you know, I'd love to be able to do that. And let's go ahead and just dig down. The joys of God mode, right? So, yeah, it's like, wanted to learn how to do it, and, you know, I can. It's voxel. There's a free plugin you can get for UE4 that allow you to do the voxel, or basically what I'm doing here, just like digging through the ground. I did find and briefly test out one of them. There's another one that's actually on the marketplace. It's $100, but it looks like it would be a lot of fun to play with. You know, the studio that made this game has done a pretty good job overall. I can't complain too much. You know, there's some little quirks and little bugs here and there, but, you know, whatever. No, I'm not worried about tethers right now. Normally, if you're playing in the normal modes, then you're going to have tethers to supply you with power and oxygen. And you can get that from your shuttle, but is that once I get everything dialed in where I want, then I'll end up actually having habitats on each planet, an actual base on each planet. I do have a playthrough that I'm doing that's actually legit, you know, not using any kind of, you know, creative mode or anything else. So it's not like I'm, you know, worried about that part. To get people used to actually playing and seeing how they're gonna play, I'd rather have a creative world just to kind of see, because some people tend to get a little bit on the crazy side. Not going to mention any names, but hey, let's do this, or hey, let's do that. And like, I tend to be more on the long lines of nice, clean, sane bases, and you know, it's fun to do that. But for me, but it is fun sometimes to just go ape shit and build cool shit. But I'd rather people learn without getting too crazy at first. But just like any other typical game here, it's a looter based. So you're always worried about certain resources for crafting. But in this case, your crafting is going to involve you leaving this world. Well, actually, not this world, because I've already left my world. And the size of these planets, and especially this one being a moon, not very big to begin with. It's one of those things where go nice and flat like this now, but then later on, it's like, what the hell? Up becomes down, down becomes up. You get too close to the center of the planet you're on, or whatever. You have moon, planet, whatever. And when you're at the center, there's no real gravity at all. You know, there is no up and down. Did I find a cave, or did I find the surface again? Yep, actually found a cave. Okay. And without tethers, it's really difficult to maintain your bearing whenever you're just mass tunneling like this. So that's why I always build these, you know, some kind of road network, elevated platforms, what have you, just so I can have an idea of where I am. But I like any game where I can terraform, you know? Being able to raise and lower the earth, flatten things out, conform my terrain to what I want, instead of being stuck with what I'm given. I mean, the way my luck goes is, because I'm streaming, I won't find anything. Is that over there? Looks like freaking aluminum. It's not a bad thing, but that's not what I'm here for. I get aluminum on my home planet. Is that aluminum though? You can actually get the terraforming you can actually do with your vehicles. There we go. Yeah, that's aluminum. I mean, I say that like it's a bad thing, because it is a very useful resource, but not what I'm here for. So the whole concept of what I'm trying to get ready for, like I said, is prepping for co-op. And I've got one person that I play with in the evenings, but late, really late. And I can't always stay up until 7 o'clock in the frickin' morning just so I can play a game. I know. Third world problems, right? But what I'm planning on doing is looking for a few good peoples, guys and gals, prefer gals, you know, but yeah, I'm gonna get lost. Be better off just doing a tether run through here. In worst case scenario, I can just tunnel straight up to the surface and fly till I get there. Is that what I'm here for? Just debris. The debris you can recycle into, you can salvage and run it through the shredders. Come on, give me more of that. Wolframite. And on your main planet, one of the things you can harvest actually gives you zinc. And I really can't think of much off the top of my head where I need the zinc for anything. So I'll load up on Wolframite. I think that's what I need. I'll get out of here. Because there's tungsten, titanium, there's all kind of different resources you're going to need to gather that are on different worlds. And having good storage and a good shuttle is very, very important. So I'm playing co-op, you know, hey, you know, can someone go make an iron run, or can someone go make a titanium run, or what have you. And since everybody has their own ideas of what their perfect base looks like, you know what, I can just fly. What I plan on doing is having a main area, a main base, with all the goodies. Having everything set up for everybody to use. Oh shit, I'm full already. Alright. And then letting them go out and create their own base somewhere. Because if someone starts building shit in my base and it's not something that I want, well, I don't want this there, I don't want that there. And I'm old, I'm grumpy. I know that's news to everybody, but anything worth picking up? I mean, it's carbon, but I can't carry it. So, you know, me being the grumpy old bastard, I don't want anybody messing with my base. This is my shit. No, just you can dump off resources all you want to, but I don't want you building my area. So to solve that kind of issue, and someone else saying, well, you know what, I'd rather have this over here, why don't we put it over there? Well, you know, build your own base, pick out a section, level out your terrain, build it however you want to, and enjoy. But having the main base area where, damn, I don't have a large printer, or I need a soil centrifuge, or I need a atmospheric condenser, or what have you. Having all that stuff in the primary base, the primary construction area, allows people to be able to share the resources and be able to do what they need to do to start putting together their base the way they want it. So, I'm good with that. Build your base and enjoy life. What I do want is each planet and each moon, I want to go ahead and have a where my base at? I want to have a tractor and at least a regular rover or a medium rover, large rover, whatever, all of the above, for going out and scouting, getting resources, what have you. I kind of like the regular buggy or a rover or what have you. The moon buggy. Having multiples where just get out and explore, have a good time. Like trying to find the moon lander that's on the Desello, the planet we just left, or the moon we just left. So yeah, each of these white things here are potential landing zones that I can use, but I don't want to just use any of them. I want to use mine because I have a landing pad there. But at some point, we'll actually go to each of these different landing zones and put a beacon down so that, you know, change the color maybe and identify with, okay, this is going to be mine. So you got a bubble there for the base and another one there that's right next to it, which is my landing pad. So setting up a landing pad in each one of those zones so that you can actually travel this way. Alright, I know, not very sexy, but I'm throwing my shit on the ground. At some point I'll just actually spend some time loading up and doing, you know, this is tungsten. Gonna need it. Asshole. Gonna need to go and get some macaroni. Sorry, the resin looks like macaroni sticking up out of the ground. start, and I got one there. Let's actually venture out and just grab some. By getting out here in the buggies, just kind of goofing around, having a good time, you know? Already exhausted a few places around that were close. Let's actually get the tractor. Because when I see things like that, I want them. Medium wind, medium solar. And I don't have any of the medium storage on the tractor, so that I can actually pick up things like that. See, with the tractor, the more trailers you put on there, it gets kind of wonky. So that's the hole that see, this is what I'm talking about. Gaping ass hole in the ground. Nobody likes a gaping hole, you know? I can actually throw that one on the front, and then if I find more, put them on the trailers. And I saw, where is it? There was a, oh shit, there's a freaking macaroni that I need right now. The tractor anyway. Let's run over here to that. It's a medium solar. Since I can't just throw that on my back because it's too big, that's why I bring the tractor out. That's the good stuff. On the surface before you start strip mining to the freaking core of the earth. Although this isn't earth. Gonna fill up, you know, the rest of the way. I could have dropped off the rest of my resources in that, but I'm gonna end up using it as soon as I get back. Have a hole like this, it means that there's still stuff in it. I hate just leaving these big ass holes in the ground, but alright, one more. And that should be it there. Yep. Really cool. And see, having beacons can extend the, you bastard. I'm driving the hole. It's easy to find your way back. In this case, I have my ship and my main base, but so I have two there. But building beacons of quartz will let me place beacons anywhere that I want. So I've already got one medium solar and one medium wind there, and I'm going to end up having to put more. Pick up you and build. It's going to build a bunch of them. So this is going to be for my atmospheric. I have to use 3 iron to make that. So this can fill up with hydrogen and nitrogen. Then this one right here is going to be for the other thing. And here, build me another one. So, be able to start cleaning up my frickin' mess. And that was the tungsten. Any more tungsten on the ground? I don't see any. So I need to start building some large storage to put these on. What was I building here? Ceramic, tungsten, and glass. I don't know why it doesn't take them off of the gun first. Oh, I still got more tungsten to deal with here. Okay. Go ahead and burn that down. No, asshole. Get on there. Alright, so I needed for this chemistry lab glass, ceramic, and tungsten. No, dumbass. That will happen. Alright, chemistry lab is printing. And then I'll do the other one after that. Alright. Well, that's the beginnings, you know, getting started with, you know, the small shuttle, getting the resources together to start farming, more capable farming here on this main planet. I'm not so much worried about doing any of the travel to the center of the planet and unlocking the other things and whatnot. That's for another time. Alright, so why didn't you put them over here on the frickin' thing, the storage? Jackass. I'm old and grumpy, and nothing will ever be to my likings. Ever. Might as well stack these on here and get somewhat neat and organized. Even though I'm not neat and organized. It's got random shit everywhere. Ceramic with iron and... Alright, you're almost done. You'll go on this platform. And I'm gonna see what I gotta have for the other one. Guessing I can actually put the solar and wind that I picked up, wind generator, put them on this one. Yay, they're done. So they're packed in crates. So whenever you get them like this, you can actually put them on your shuttles to carry to other planets. So you can pre-build some things. Yay. Much rejoicing. Now I can make rubber and plastic and that kind of stuff. Chemistry lab and atmospheric condenser is going to be next. Iron, glass, and plastic. So plastic you can create in this. And I need carbon and compound. Carbon can actually be made easily from organics and your smelter. And said compound, which I am out of. yeah, one of the most common resources on the entire friggin' planet, and I don't have any. Although there is plenty. Now here I am actually playing a game instead of making game and game related stuff, which is what most people come to my channel for, is to see game making stuff, not actually playing games. You know what? I like to actually play games. I guess one of the things that I guess a lot of people end up wanting to create games for. I can't speak for everybody, but it's one of those things where, you know, I like this game, but I like this game because it does this and I can do that, but I'd like to have a game where I can do this and this and this. Or, you know, we start playing a game when we're either really, really good at it and can dominate, but want it a little bit harder, or we just, like in my case, suck most of the time at most games that I'm playing. And I wish it were easier, or I wish it were a casual thing, or I wish I could fly, or I wish I could terraform, or I wish I could whatever. So no one game is going to have everything. It's just the perfect game. Oh, I can do everything that I ever want to do in this one game. No. So instead of just suffering with the thought of, well, I can only do this and this and this, but I wish I could do this. So I end up having to buy other games to fill in the void of what this game can't do or that game can't do. Well, you know, how hard is it to actually make a game? Hell, I could do it myself. Because nobody knows how to play the game or make a game better than what I want, then, you know, why not? Is making games difficult? Yes and no. Depends on how much attention to detail you can pay. All the tools are available free of charge to build the game with. You can get Blender to make your own models. You can get GIMP and Inkspace to make your own material, textures, and so forth. Unreal Engine 4, of course, because that's all I use. I guess you could use that Unity thing, but and there's other game engines out there too, but what else do you need? There's free programs out there for sound and graphics and models, and yeah, I mean, the stuff's out there. The limit being the amount of time you want to put into learning how to use all those things. Alright, what is it I be doing here? I need iron, plastic, and glass. I was making plastic. So, carbon and compound. And lack of a better place, I gotta put this extra compound down somewhere. So there's really no excuse, you know, to not try and make your own games. There's plenty of good tutorials out there. There's also my tutorials, you know. Yay, plastic. Alright, so what else did I need? Glass and iron. Glass, iron, and go. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what kind of game you want to create. The possibilities are endless for what you can create. you start with a blank canvas and go from there. What kind of game do I want? What do I want the game to do? Uh, you know, do I want a top-down game? Do I want a first-person or a third-person, single-player, multiplayer? Decide what you want and then start building from there. Honestly, I like cooperative games myself. Um, you know, not that I'm against playing with myself. I mean, by myself, but um, you know, it's sometimes more fun to have someone play with you, so or play with somebody else, play together. So why not? Multiplayer replication is not rocket science, although you do have to sell part of your soul, not your entire soul, but part of your soul, to the devil to be able to start comprehending it. But if you don't know, then it could be a pain in the ass to get started with multiplayer replication. To be a master of multiplayer with Unreal Engine 4, you completely need to sell your entire soul to the devil. You're going to have to do incantations, blood sacrifices, things like that. It's just, you're going to have to. Alright, we'll start with hydrogen and let it do its thing. Then when it fills up one side, then I'll stop it and do nitrogen. But you'll need these on a bunch of different planets to get different gases. Before I exit out here really quickly, because it's time to eat again. Say again, I ate like 6 hours ago. Of your resources, you've got all these different resources you're going to need to actually build with. Compound and resin are your two most common, and they're found on every planet. Malachite is important for making copper. Titanite for titanium. This for whatever the hell that is. Quartz for, well, quartz and glass. Use both. Wolframite, which was the tungsten we just got. Graphite. Hematite, which is going to be your iron. Laterite, which is going to be your aluminum. Lithium, it comes in handy later. Organic is seldom used, but is plentiful everywhere. Astronium, never really seen it or needed it yet. Then your refined resources, aluminum, carbon, ceramic, iron, glass, copper, titanium, tungsten, and zinc, are all useful. I've never used zinc for anything that I can remember. You use a lot of aluminum, a lot of ceramic, a lot of iron, and titanium and tungsten. And then your gases that you can farm from different planets. Hydrogen and nitrogen from your starting planet. Sulfur, methane, helium, argon, composite resources. These are ones that you make from combining other resources together. Diamond is kind of useful. Hydrazine you'll use quite a bit. Rubber and plastic. Tungsten carbide, titanium alloy, steel, silicone. These are all quite handy. And then each of the different planets, you can go through here. This is your starting planet, easy mode. But sphalerite, which is for zinc, like I said, I have no use for. Malachite, which is going to be your copper, and hydrogen, nitrogen for your gas. It's good if you're planning on setting up a base on any of the planets to actually pay attention to the power. Sun medium, wind medium. Coming quite handy later, like wind low. So if you're going to go set up a base on a planet, it wouldn't pay for you to carry a bunch of wind generators and try to set up a base with wind because, well, it's low. But high on sun, so okay, take a bunch of solar. There you go. Sun very high, wind low. So Calidor, definitely want to be a solar planet. But each of these planets have their primary and secondary and their gases, which is why you're going to have to go to them to be able to get those resources that you need. So having your shuttles are going to be very, very important. Low sun, but high wind. So, okay, it'll be a good wind planet. Sun and wind high. Novus. Novus is not bad, but even though it says its primary is hematite, which is your iron, I've had varying luck on finding iron there. The one that I find it most on is Glacio, and it's on the surface. So yeah, I mean, set up a whenever you can, set up a medium or a large rover, and just go farm the crap out of it. Especially if you got a large shuttle to carry a bunch of it back. But very low sun, but very high wind. So definitely one for your wind turbines or wind generators. Low on sun and wind, that sucks. It's a very hard planet. As long as there's decent amounts of, well, there's choked atmosphere, so there's less oxygen for you to be able to get. The aggressive flora, meaning that, yeah, there's plants that basically shoot like mortars, which will attack and shoot at you. Throw the globs of goo at you. Treacherous terrain, meaning there's a lot of places you can fall and die. So this would be a good place for your regular generators where you're using either carbon or organics to power it. Alright. Good tutorials on it. Said I'll do another video later on about recruiting for a team of people to play this game, The Division 2. There's a new expansion out for that, which I will be getting very soon. Playing Raft, and playing other games in general, just so that can actually put together a game team to do at least one stream per week where there's 3-4 of us going in and just playing and having a good time. So I'm going to leave it at that for now, and I'm going to do this. Save and quit, and I want to thank everybody for stopping by and saying hello and doing whatever, and we'll see you guys soon.